Thanks so much for being here. We have a small audience. I think folks are still super excited about what's happening down on the trade show and also at lunch, of course. But this is not about quantity, it's about quality. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Chelsea Collier. And I wear a bunch of different hats. The question that I get more often than anything else is, what exactly do you do? We were just talking about that earlier. So in this capacity, I am founder of Digicity, which is a platform to talk about smart cities, technology, and policy. Earlier in 2016, I had the fortune of having an Eisenhower Fellowship, which took me to China and also studying smart cities across the U.S. So in that capacity, I decided to talk about what I was learning through Digicity, which gave way to working with a group called Smart Cities Connect, which is a platform for city leaders all around the world to talk with each other in a safe space about what they are doing, connected technology and smart cities, what policies are positive in helping them evolve as city and community leaders, and also integrating through a conference that will happen in June of this year. My background, just real quickly, is in technology, policy, social impact, civic engagement, and social good. So that's a lot of things all at one time, and smart cities is the area that helps me combine all of those in order to be efficient and effective, which is the goal that everybody wants, right? So, you know, I think this conference is really interesting with such a focus on enterprise, and I was listening this morning and really kind of taken aback, not in a negative way, but it was just a reminder about how important it is for different sectors to overlap and talk to each other, which is essentially what I do all day long. You know, I truly believe that technology is the enabler of positive change in the world, and it's really important that people in the private sector not look at people in the public sector as what they sometimes get categorized as, which is, we want to keep the government out of everything. We think that government moves too slow and technology won't wait for the market. I heard that today. And I actually think this is a new dawn, and it's a new time where private sector and public sector can really start working together in very interesting and collaborative ways. Doesn't mean that that is going to be easy, and it's not going to be automatic. But I think that cities are really the hotbeds of innovation right now, and when things like IoT and 5G and small cells, when that conversation is happening on the private sector side, nothing happens unless it's integrated into our cities. And the cities who are welcoming of that kind of change are the ones who are going to get it, and the ones who are not, who have this quagmire of rules and regulations and policies where it's not easy to streamline that integration, they're going to be left at the bottom of the heap. So I consider it my personal responsibility, because I understand both of those worlds, to try to integrate that conversation as much as possible. And so that is what I do with Digicity and through my role at Smart Cities Connect. So just a little bit of background. So my role here today is to act as the track chair. So that means I keep the trains running on time, and I also have the privilege of introducing speakers. I'm looking around the room, and I don't see the chair, the moderator for the next panel. Liz Curtin, is Liz here? No, I didn't think so. Okay. Maybe I'll just take this time until she arrives. Are there any questions or any kind of thoughts around expectations for today that maybe I could answer or set? Anybody? Okay. Is everyone here from private sector? Or, I see, hello. Anybody from public sector? Yeah, Joe. Great, so mostly private sector here. Okay, good. Sorry, you had a question in the back.
I was just going to ask, if we have time, can you talk more about Digicity and the platform you're providing?
Sure. So when I received the Eisenhower Fellowship in 2016, a lot of people do very academic exercises. So they'll publish a white paper. A lot of the Eisenhower Fellows are subject matter experts in very kind of niche spots. Their role is to create bridges with thought leaders around the world. It's an absolutely incredible organization. I feel very, very fortunate to be included in the Zhejiang Fellowship, which took me to China for 4 weeks. So when I saw what other people were doing, I'm not an academic, and the area of smart cities is moving so quickly. I mean, we all know that here, that I thought doing anything like publishing a white paper or any sort of industry report, it would be outdated by the time I got all the research together. So I talked with the foundation and said, what I'd really like to do is just do a blog. I know how to do that, and talk with as many industry and public sector leaders as I can, community advocates, people in the social impact space who are really looking at connected technologies as a way to create a better world, quite honestly and tritely. So DigiCity is a blog that I created in a matter of hours, and quite honestly, I thought it would kind of fall by the wayside after I finished my fellowship, and it's taken off and it's proving some value. So it's not a private sector thing. I don't do sponsorships. It's not a money generator, and nor do I ever want it to be. I just create it as a way to provide service to the world. So it's taken me to a lot of interesting cities, just recently in San Diego and then in Phoenix, just talking with city leaders about how they are working on the policy side to make integrated technologies and connected technologies more a part of their everyday world. Does that answer the question? Okay, good. Yeah. Sure.
I've been seeing a lot of news chatter over the last couple of weeks around cities joining in on this kind of Vision Zero, zero fatalities, smart cities initiatives, and they're getting funding. And so I see money being thrown at these initiatives. Are cities looking at this as more of a kind of a grassroots cultural effort to educate the community, or are they saying we're going to use this to invest in technologies to help us run safer, and then by de facto kind of educating the community about how to use that data and technology, or what are they looking at using these funds for?
Yeah, it's right now a bit all over the map. So some of the thought leaders like San Diego and Phoenix, they're really ahead of the curve. San Diego just launched the largest city-based IoT platform in the entire world, not just in the US, in the entire world. So they're really getting ahead of things and looking at ways that not only is the that technology that they've implemented all around sustainability is actually saving the city money, as opposed to costing the city money. So I think a lot of this gets reframed in antiquated ways, and smart cities are really looking at ways that they can integrate technology to make their cities more efficient. But we'll see. I mean, what I'm seeing right now is there's a lot of buzz and a lot of news around smart cities in the public sector. And so a lot of city leaders are saying, wow, we better race to catch up. And there's a real opportunity for them to work with other city leaders around the country and around the world to understand what's happening. So it's a bit of Wild West right now.